Greetings. Good morning, good day, good night. So to everybody, hope your morning's going well. Hope your day is going well. Some of y'all are still out. If you got the New York state of mind, you probably are working, and working. That's the best excuse to tell somebody that you're busy doing working. What you been up to, man? Working, man. You know, where you been, man? You don't pick up your phone, man. I be working, man. Man, you MIA, man. You don't even pick up your phone. You don't call nobody. You don't even see. Man, I've been working, man. But you can use that to some degree. Because if they know they're doing what? Now you got, you know what I mean? Now you're like, well, you know what I do. Now you got to get on your Tommy from Martin. Now you got to get on your Tommy from Martin. So you got to be real careful with that. But it's really the best thing that I just been busy. Doing what? Working. But what exactly do you do? I'm like, well, I mean, come on. I can't really tell you all that, but I've been working, brother. I've been working. You know? That's what Beyonce got that I've been drinking. No, she ain't get it from me. But yeah, I mean, it is it holds a different type of weight when you don't have to explain anything to anybody. You know what I mean? Because if somebody tells me they just been working, I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? They don't want to talk about it. You got to know when some people just not open to talking about certain things, and you want to get a person that's, or more or less, you want to keep your height up. When a person is talking, when they don't want to talk about certain things, you give them not only the ability where people thank God but you give yourself the upper hand where it's like, nah, like I'm not gonna put myself into a position and stress it. Like you could cut the conversation shorter that way. You do realize that, right? Let me give you one example. I remember one time one of my boys when he was going through something. Well, I heard, and I'm like, yo, you know what I mean? What's going on with what I mean? Your daughter. He's like, nah, I don't want to talk about that. I'm like, okay, that was it. And I kept going. Like I didn't even have the thing feel awkward because a lot of times you give a person the light when you do that. You know what I mean? And you also give them a good light, but you maintain their light by giving them their independence. Listen. And if they choose to talk about that later, then so be it. But you don't want to put the pressure because again, they feel you trying to take their light because they feel I may put myself out there in a way where I really don't want to put myself out there. And then, as you know, you're vulnerable. And that's understandable. You have to respect that. Because apparently they don't want to tell you. It's not because they don't want you to know. They don't want to be judged. Maybe they don't want to lose no cool points. Maybe they don't want to look weak. But the reality is they're not going to look weak because you're coming to them on a mode of compassion. Now, granted, you know yourself. You know you're not going to say anything. You know you're not going to, put the information out in the street and have them get embarrassed. But they can't take the chance of that. And this is a good way to open up this because there's a very intricate thing that people don't do that is so much in their faces that it's a very simple and the most effective thing to learn the human mind. You know, when you look at a pet that's been traumatized and You don't know the pet. You can look at the pet. Oh, he's not been fed. You can see that they're skinny. All of their physical attributes can pretty much tell the story. You don't have to be a veterinarian to know that. But a lot of times, us as people, we forget our abilities and the ability of having an idea, something in the mind, your brain, how you think of things and how it transfers and how your way of thinking could be transferable to other people. Great minds, so a lot of us get upset with family and, oh, I'm tired of giving them advice and this one doesn't listen and I'm just done with everybody. And you don't want to be like that because now your light is starting to dim. Part of you having a light, you have to keep it bright. And when it's not bright, it gives a very solitude mode into a environment. Now, depending on the environment, you want to dim the light. You want to dim the light, God forbid, there's a loss, and if you're, but there's also a side way it could be romantic. You can't tend to be a romantic and kick it with a young lady and have the light so bright. Sometimes you got to dim the occasion to set the occasion. See, a lot of things, a lot of men really don't know this simple concept is how to treat a lady. They make a million books, but nobody's writing that book because most men don't really know how to write that book. He would have to grab bits and pieces and do all this, that, and the third, and to make it work. Now, the woman reading this, she may receive this book and say, wow, what an amazing book. Or she really wants to know, because more women will buy that book than men. Let's just keep it a stack. Because women want to know what points are given so they know, which is backwards because the men are supposed to be buying the book. Most men don't like to read, but you know what I mean? So you have a lot of different formats to keeping your light bright. And you have a lot of formats in life where people can steal your light. And you don't want to do that. You want to catch the light before it dims, and you want to be able to know, well, what if the light blows out? Well, if it blows out, it could be replaced. You know what I'm saying? That's different. But when you steal it, there's no way to replace it. You could put another light in there. It's like, well, it's too late. It's gone. The light is gone. The light will never shine anymore in that room and will never shine anymore to that person. So these are very intricate things, but we'll get to that. So, let me start off this amazing, some would say, journey that I'm on. And probably one of the best journeys I've ever endured in my entire life. And I mean that. In my adult life, it is an incredible journey. And excuse me, there's a lot of construction going on around here, so you're gonna hear some noise really, really, really bad. So I'm trying to get this in before it gets intense. But you know, I have the liberty and the privilege of meeting these B mindset women. You know, they're coming here. There's I guess in recent months I started to not downplay my city. And I do remember one or two different streams that I said, listen, I'm gonna keep it a stack. Like I'm not gonna hold it back no more. Um, you visit this city, it's an incredible city. That I can guarantee. You're not gonna come here and not like it. I don't care what the weather is, you know. And me giving that invite to a lot of people, I guess throughout my streams, they're picking up a mode of comfort, in such a big city. Now, this is not just about me. You just can't visit New York without meeting me. That would just be crazy. You know what I mean? But if you're gonna visit New York and you're open to visiting New York, regardless of what you heard and the dangers and all the above, that's where I come in. Because now you're able to listen to a person that knows, that's been born and raised here. You understand? Like here, living in the city, that's just how things work. Living in the city, people tend to come here and they visit. And excuse me, people that live here in New York, they tend to move to Jersey a lot. People that leave New York, they move to Jersey. That's like the first pick. Um, some may go to Atlanta, some may go to Florida. These are the common locations. Now it's Texas. So you may think, well, my friends are moving to Texas. I'm gonna go visit them and enjoy life out there. And yeah, but your friends are not from Texas. Your family that goes to Jersey are not from New Jersey. So to really have the best impression of a place to visit with close friends or family, you want to know the history. You want to know, are they born and raised there? Because the point is that when you're going out to visit these locations with people that don't know the area, that don't know the state, don't know the city, don't know the county, it's very important for people to know counties. It's very important. See, so if a person leaves New York City, for example, and they move to Jersey, they're going to tell you the section they live in. And they're going to say, oh, it's nice. And house, I got a nice house and this. And that's all surface stuff. But when you talk to a person from New Jersey, they don't talk section, they talk county. You got to get familiar with the county. The county is very important because a county is going to cover more than just the section. You know, if they tell you they live in Toms River, New Jersey, it's like, okay, Toms River. Wow, I heard about it. It's nice, you know, but it's far. But then you're like, well, Ocean County. Okay. Well, it's called Ocean County for a reason. There's a lot of water out there, but it's near the Jersey Shore, all the above. But under this county, there's a whole bunch of sections. So if you Wikipedia this county, it's going to tell you everything. Whether you go to Google and check out this, that, and the third, or you do your AI thing, or you could even sit there and do a quick, um, Alexa, whatever. But it's going to give you things that most people take for granted. And people tend to take for granted, the level, the sea level. And, you just look at the crime and you look at the house and you don't realize what is the curse that affects the area. Shout out to Ken. Thank you, brother. Oh, he right on the LIE right now. Salute to Ken Thompson. Ken Townsend's on that Long Island Expressway. Salute, my brother. Good luck in that goddamn parking lot. And more likely you're going south. I mean, you're going west. You're not going east. So we know what that looks like at this time of morning. You know what I'm saying? So excuse me again. I got this bad construction around me, but I got to tune it out to the best of my ability. These niggas is just annoying, but um, they got to do what they got to do. So a lot of times when we check these areas out, we don't go deep. And to go deep sometimes is not just asking your homie, you know, tell me about living out there that has been born and raised, which is very effective. You got to go deeper now into the family members that or elderly people or older people that can give you a more of a historic layout. You got to look into that. So when you come here to visit me or to visit New York, you can visit New York and it sounds better rather than saying, I'm coming to New York to see Nathaniel. Whatever works for you, that you got to set your mind, because you're supposed to do that. You should come here and educate yourself on the city. Well, Nate give me a tour. I could give you a tour guide better than any tour guide, but you need to do the tour guide that they offer just to get your feet wet. You know what I mean? Because you want to keep your light on, like learn things and be entertained. And, you know what I mean? Very important. Shout out to Sandra G. What up, baby? Sandra, I hit you up. You responded. You gave me you sent me an email, and I think I sent you a WhatsApp as well. So check your information. I definitely did. Shout out to Sandra. You know what I'm saying? He going west. See, I told you he going west. So I already know. So when you come out here, I want you to be educated on something that I was totally co-signing. Take heed to learning the city carefully. Now, mind you, I'm not there, but be careful. Be careful with the swindlers. Be careful with the attitudes, because New Yorkers got attitudes. They have no patience. You know, your tour guide may be a dick. You know what I mean? He doesn't mean to. You know what I mean? Um, you may have people that's a little rushy. It's aggressive, but it's not that bad. Like, just take heed to these things. And then you may say, well, listen, I want to connect with Nathaniel. Now, essentially, you should come here for the experience of us, creating something. You know what I mean? So by the time you go back home, you can say, bang. I don't care if it's a photo op, just anything that you can say we can't normally do unless we deal with technology to do side by side. Whether it's a photo, whether it's a handshake, whether it's a hug, whether it's a video, whether it's a live stream, whatever, just make sure you put that in your archives. And I think that kind of alleviates the mode of not being or scared to meet anybody. Now, that's just what it is. Now, you as a woman being a woman, you're vulnerable. So your your risk, it's a risk whatever you do. It's a risk you getting on a plane. It's a risk that you're coming here by yourself. It's a risk that you're coming with friends. You know, anything can happen in such a big city with everything is going on. But the most important part, you want to complete the mission by connecting with me so you know in the future you have somebody you can say, hey, I know somebody that lives out there. You dig where I'm coming from? So it's important. So moving along, there's a couple of sisters here. And I met one last night. And I don't think you understand, not only for you, but for me, how amazing it is when you come to my city, excuse me, and we meet and you listen to me, you see me, and just within seconds, now it's no longer we're strangers. You know what I mean? We're strangers up until we meet. We are. And that's no, there's not an AI that can bring that together. Now, we have the technology in a sense as far as it brings us together, that keeps us together and connects us. And those are tools, but the real deal is that. So this sister yesterday, which I'm very grateful for, um, we met at a spot. No. I met her at, the address she was staying at. And we kick it, whatever. And the very first point of, I wish somebody had a phone. Now, this is the time. Like, you see these things on the internet all the time, but I wish somebody had a phone and was taping this meet, because you can't do that over. You only get one time for that. It's better than the first impression. This is like, you can't repeat the first time, right? Shout out to April. So it was just amazing how we met and we connected, and we hug. And the first thing she said, "Oh, I love you," and you guys are learning. It's important that when we meet and we say that, and that meet, that part, you know what I mean? So I can see how my mentality was always to give a woman or a man that impression of, wow, man, it's good to meet you, and put that face with a voice. Nothing like it. It's the most amazing feeling in the world. Just that alone. So that right there, you just want to take over the world in it. it just keeps the fire burning. It's such a beautiful feeling. So shout out to the sister. Anyway, we went to a local spot and had a ball. We had a ball. You know what I mean? That's important. Like in the environment, we chilling. She's bugging out, I'm bugging out. Like, damn, you know what I mean? It's funny, but then you go through that level of getting used to a person. And y'all kick it and you laugh and it feels like one big family. You know? That's important these days. That's something that we're losing. There was a sister that we met that worked there, her little fine self. She got in our conversation. We all bugging out. We all connected together, IG, whatever. It was dope. And she was sharing some things too. The one woman that was sharing things about she's at this point in life where she stays to herself. She don't talk to nobody. She just goes home. And, as she's saying this, I'm like, well, you know what I mean? She losing that light. And in some cases, the light's probably gone. And just listening to her, I could see. So I was telling her, I said, listen, we asked the question. I said, let me ask you a question. You seem like a young lady, now, and the sister was right there with me. Shout out to Candace, right? So I said, an older man that approach you, how do you feel about that? You know what I mean? She said, nah, she don't really, dig older men like that. I said, well, a lot of older men approach you. She said, yeah. I said, now, are you into older men? She said, no, unless it's about money. So now I'm an older nigga. So, whatever impression she got from me, she was comfortable enough to say, I didn't take it personal. But I know a lot of men right now, that if this was a video, they would have been flipping on her, dragging her. God forbid it was a viral video. All these niggas would have been dragging her. That's just what they do. So as I'm kicking it with her, we bugging out and we having fun. There was this one brother, he was older. I said, watch. I said, he's trying to hear what we're talking about because he sees that you chilling with us and you're laughing and you're engaged in the conversation. He'll talk to you now. She said, really? I said, yeah, because how men do, if they see a woman that's not approachable and you don't look approachable, I told her that. And once they see you engaging in the conversation and actually smiling, he'll take a chance. Now, I know it's pretty weak, but that's just how they are. Now, again, that bloodline is common among men. I know that. My bloodline is very rare. So I could pick that out real quick. Most women just don't know. It's not that they're stupid. It's not that they don't know what they're doing. They just don't know what they are doing. You get it? They don't know. So if you don't know what, you don't know who, you're not going to know how to operate when it comes to us. She's engaging, we kicking it. Candace is able to ask her, with all due respect, can I ask how old you are? Now, again, I could have said that also. She would have told me, but I don't really have to ask a woman's age because she's going to end up telling me anyway. Because she's going to feel comfortable enough to share that and so she could get more clarity. Now, not clarity in the sense of what I could pick up from her, but she's going to talk. She's going to engage. That's just what people do when they're comfortable. So that's what I encourage. Not only the situation this evening, it was late evening. It's an enormous feeling, not only for me, but for the people coming here. Because that is a connection for life. Now you go home and you're like, you know what? You finally was able to be around a man that instead of being around a creep. See, there's a difference between a man and a male. And all y'all do is date males. You don't date men. That's why your vibration's low. You could look at a woman and know what her vibration is from what she dates. You know what I mean? You could look at kids and tell who's lazy, who's not, who has a chance at their future, who's going to be a bozo. Like, you could tell this shit from an early age. But people, sometimes when you out yourself of not dealing with people, you take all that away. Prior to meeting this sister yesterday, I had a quick little job full of these two little young homies. And the mother hit me up. I was like, listen, I guess the son ain't doing shit, so she wants him to do something. I said, you know what? I was going to put this little job off into a whole bunch of other jobs Thursday. Let me just grab this one and give these little niggas something to do real quick. Take like a little half an hour, no big. You know what I mean? They'll make a little dub or whatever, nothing crazy. So we get over there, whatever. I pick them up, whatever. One of the kids is a little more um, stronger than the other. The one's a little lazy. He has the ability. He's just a lazy nigga. So, you know, there was this white woman upstairs, and it was all good. We talking and shit like that, and getting a little chat on. And the husband was in the house working. He was the one that set the job up. Beautiful house, man. For me to say a beautiful house is a big deal. Beautiful house. Because she renovated all these different things. She's showing us this. I got these kids with me now. Now, my mentality is like, well, damn, I got them with me. They don't know shit that she's talking about because most kids don't give a fuck about stuff like that. They just want to know the job is over. They want to get paid and go home. So I can feel that energy. Now, these two kids, I already know on a personal level. I already know both of them don't have dads. One has a mother. The other one don't even have his mom's. He got his grandmother raising him. So when I was 15 years old or 18 years old, I was always a person to take information from the elders. Now, I know a lot of people don't think like, but your elders are 30, 40, 50, 60. I took that information. These kids don't think like that. So a lot of times, their mentality is going to be petty because they don't think far side and look at the fact that, well, I could have something like this one day, have a family in the house. They don't think that far, which is quite sad because it gives us a motive. Either we don't want to be bothered, fuck them, or, be mindful of what you're dealing with. And one thing about me, I'm very mindful about the bloodline. Very, very, very important. The bloodline goes real deep. We have two things that I spoke about this in a few videos ago. Whether you go to the doctor and they take a blood test and you got a physical, and a physical can check off like 100 different things from this one blood. It's amazing. You know, everything. Test this, test that. It could pick up inconsistencies. It could pick up the good, the bad, the ugly, all in the blood test. Now, then we have 23andMe and ancestry.com, and we got these little things, and you put your saliva and you test your DNA. Okay, so the DNA is a benefit to you. Learn your DNA, your ancestry, what your blood is mixed up with, yada, yada, yada. And that's good. But the problem is we don't use these DNA and bloodlines the way we should. The DNA is mostly something that we learn through pregnancy. It's got more popular where baby's daddy and you check your DNA, or, a crime show. We see how a hand or a fingerprint or saliva could lead a person to jail and find out and crack a crime, crack a case for that matter, right? That's technology. Then we have the blood itself, and you're meeting a man, and you're sitting down at dinner with him, whether it's me or anybody, and what is in this person's blood generally? Is that a little personal to ask a person, when's the last time you got a physical? And yeah, about a year ago. Oh, what did the doctor say? And it's like that. You got to tell. You know, we made these things to be ultra personal, and it's really not. It's nothing. It's nothing disrespectful or personal to ask a person's bloodline because you're going to be sharing not only their DNA, their ancestry, their bloodline, and God forbid there's things affecting their blood that are transferable and potent, whether it's COVID, whether it's a common cold, whether it's AIDS or herpes, or you know what I mean? We don't check these abilities. So it's like when the sisters are coming to New York, check the room a little bit. Enjoy what's yet to come. But just watch these essential things and enjoy. Be careful, be mindful, be aware. That's it. Because whether you meet me or not, that's important. Don't put on the goal of meeting me and worried about necessarily because now you're meeting a man, you're not meeting a male. It's a big difference. So when you're out here moving around, you as a woman have to understand we are all born with this incredible ability called a light, whether it's your vision. Stevie Wonder just did something where everybody's like, there's this rumor that he really can see. And he's like, no, he can't. But what he can't see is things that people can't imagine because of his vision. He doesn't have our vision, but he has an entirely different vision that he was born with. That's a unique trait. Most people, especially women, never know how important it is for them to keep that light bright because it's gone. Most of y'all don't have a light. Now, can a man see this and say, well, she's beautiful, she's nice, she stays to herself, older men should have money, niggas ain't shit, guys in their age group is garbage. Her light is gone because somebody stole it. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean the light was stolen from 15 individuals. There was one person that stole that light. So now what happens is you had a person that stole your light in 2015, and now you've been dating since 2015, and the light is still gone. Because see, the reality is that a bad man for a woman is not essential. Write that down. A bad man for a woman is not essential. That's something you can do without. A man, on the other hand, he has to experience a bad woman in order to get his man stripes. He has to. Because with a man, it's going to determine if he's able to carry the torch of a man. You get it? He may just be a male. So if he's a male and you encounter a male, in most cases, if he breaks you down as a woman, follow me now, once he breaks you down, he can steal your light because he's bad. He a crook steals, a rapist takes. Criminals are a criminal, right? You're a criminal when you disobey the law, you're disingenuous. That's a criminal. An honest man is not going to take anything that's not his. Now I could drop the mic, but I gotta stay on the road. So with a beautiful woman, she cannot afford to take the time a day to fuck with a bad man. Because he's gonna break her down and he's gonna steal her light. That's what he's gonna do. Now, you as a woman are not gonna understand this because it creates a mode of insecurity. Why you? What is it about you? And I'm beautiful, and a man can't appreciate who I am. You understand? So now you may not think that there's any hope because you have no light. At the end of the tunnel, there's not a light. You say that to yourself, but you don't really believe that. But if you had a man, a real man, that light is always going to be at the end. You're always going to see it. So it's like a person that's blind or you're waking up out of a coma. You know, once you see that light, you're waking up. You know, it's like with people that you see movies coming out of a coma. It's like, oh my gosh, and everybody's in their face. That's the light. That's faith. That's love. That's honor. That's everything in life that you work for is for your light. So if you don't have a light because it's been stolen and it's gone, how did you put yourself in that position for that to allow that to happen? Now again, You may have situations where what had happened if the person grew up and this person took that away, or a person raped them in a, they raped them in the subway. Again, unfortunately, she encountered a male because he's the only one that could steal your life. That worthless male is the only one that could steal it. No matter which way you cut it, it's linked to him. So as a man, a real man, he knows his level of a man when he goes through heartbreak. When a woman hurts him, he knows his level. If a woman's trying to rule him, he knows his level. He's determined of how he handles that because he's a man. Okay? So now it ends up happening. Women may think, well, I dealt with a guy, he had bad relationships. It's not his relationships. That has nothing to do with it. Has nothing to do with it. And if it does play a part, it may play 1% of his life. It has nothing to do with it. You are looking at a transgenerational curse. If a man fails with woman, that's a curse. That comes from his father. Well, but his father was a good man. He was a stockbroker. He was this, he was that. He raised his family. Don't believe everything you see on paper. The blood runs deep. You can't see a person's blood necessarily visually when you walk up in front of them unless they're cut, unless they choose to share it. And who's to know if it's the truth? Don't go by that. Don't go by the fact that his father was a pastor in the church and whatever. That curse can come from his grandfather. It could come from his father's grandfather's father's great. That is a generational curse because that's not normal. That's not a man. A man is fearless. A man knows how to treat a lady. I know a man knows how to protect a lady. So when you seeing these men, you thinking, oh, he got hurt. Well, of course he got hurt, but it's before that. The problem with you sisters, you don't check the bloodlines at all. You don't check it. You don't check bloodlines. You you go by what he tells you. You go by what you heard. You go by, well, he told me some good things about himself. I don't care what he told you. The blood is going to tell it all. If your husband's saying he's healthy and he's in great shape, did you see his blood report? I don't care what he tells you. I just lost a brother. Well, we say brother, another brother by the name of Ray DeJon. Big promoter. He actually featured him a couple of times here on a couple of live streams and I made some jokes, and he liked it. But I basically was showing everybody how he's this man that local entertainer type of brother. You know what I mean? He's a promoter. He was a promoter, excuse me. And a lot of love for this brother, man. You know what I'm saying? I remember I did a live stream on him and he laughed because he said how I was joking. But he said, you know what? It was funny. Let me just share his Instagram real quick because I got to give him credit. He just passed away literally 24 hours ago. You know what I mean? And this brother here, what I respected about him, he was the type of individual that this is so sad. Look at this. This brother literally made this video and died like an hour later. This shit is crazy. You go to his Instagram, that shit says like 16, 17 hours ago. That is, his birthday's today. Now, he used to be on Video Music Box. There's a lot of rappers that know him, old school rappers especially. Big in Brooklyn. He had this spot called 230 Park, right in Brooklyn over here by 3rd Avenue, or was it? No, by the BQE over there. But what my point is with this brother, oh my goodness, boy, I tell you, people don't know how to let you. What was deep about this brother that I admired, man, he was big on his community. He was big on Brooklyn. But I never knew his real story. I know he was a player, smooth older nigga. He had a couple of strokes, so I'm not surprised that he passed away so prematurely. What I'm surprised about is sometimes we look at a person's bloodline and may see situations like this where bad health. What does bad health look like? Can you look at this man and say that he's about to have a heart attack in another hour? How does a person look that's going to have a heart attack? There is no way. You can't tell. That's why nobody was able to look in the camera and say, Ray, are you okay? You look bad. Right now they're going to study this video and say, what in the hell does a man look like that is unhealthy? This is a great example, right? I know from a personal level because I know his girlfriend at the time, so I know. But how do you know if a person has all of these health issues? When you meet a man, how do you know that? You know, you don't know. We don't know if he's doing this video in with no underwear on. Pause. We don't know. So when you see a situation like this is heavy to me because I'm like, that's what's so scary about life. You don't even know when a person is unhealthy. So if there's not a doctor or anybody that could look at a person and say, this man's about to have a heart attack and die in another hour, how can you as a woman tell me that you've been with this man for these amount of years and you learn nothing about him? Or he told you about his past trauma and you ignored it because you thought you could fix it. Big issue, big problem with black sisters. You thought you could fix it when he warned you more by telling you his trauma, the 10 babies, mothers, the bad relationships, father wasn't shit. That's a bloodline. You have to say, at least he gave me an example that his bloodline is fucked up. Now, you may look at this guy down the line and say, piece of shit, he did this, he did that. Yeah, but he told you. He already gave you reference that he had a bad bloodline. The scariest part is when you meet a man, he tells you everything from his history was good, and you go by his word, and you realize that his bloodline is fucked up. That's worse. But the bum nigga, the one good thing about bum niggas, they let you know that just off sight. Off sight. He been to jail. He ain't working right now. His 3 babies' mothers is on some bullshit. No, you internalize it. Oh, I got 3 kids. Nobody's going to want me. Yeah, because the black male told you that. How do you know, Nate? I know he did. A black woman didn't tell you that. If a black woman told you that, another black male told her that. That's a black male failure phrase. It's worse when he has multiple children, not you. He laid the egg. So when you look at situations, you can tell a lot. So you can, because you can't look at this brother and know that nothing was wrong. I can see a difference. There's little things I can see, but I know without a doubt he more likely died from his complications of the things he suffered with before, which was strokes. Overworked, always doing too much, promoting, just doing too much. And he died doing what he loved to do. So we can't really feel too sorry, but it's unfortunate. So Rest in peace to Ray DeJon. So what I say is that you as an individual, you have to really look at yourself and say, well, how do I look deeper into these sectors? A man that lives with his mother, you got to get to that mother. That's the person you need to talk to. You need to sit down. Just let her roll. Oh, she wants to put me in a hot seat. No, because the guy that lives on his own, you may never know anything. The world tells you, oh, the guy that lives with his mother, oh, he's the bum. Nah. You want to hear any elder that birthed him, ultimately. You want to be that father. You want to hear the struggles of what the dad went through. These are the ways of getting into the bloodline to learn, is this a go or not? It's very simple. Because, see, the more and more you discredit this incredible gift of human nature, you're going to keep failing. And when you lose your light as a woman, you're never going to get that back. It could dim, it could break, it could shatter, it could be replaced. But when it's gone, that's a whole different level. The bad men only have one purpose. They're bad. It's like a menace to society. A menace to society has one purpose. He's there to destroy. If you look at our communities and look at the kids and look at the gang niggas and the older niggas in front of the store, the OG dudes sitting there wino out, the young kids being bums playing with their dreads and robbing niggas. All that shit comes, those are sins from the father. All of that. I don't care if the guy told you his mother was abusive. It's still the sin from the father because the father made him with her. It all comes from him. He doesn't even know this. He has no clue. But you have to use your light by realizing that you can't see without light. How many times do y'all have a phone and you got to turn the flashlight on? Because you can't see shit. And then when that phone dies and you're in a dark area, you're fucked. You're like, I don't have any light. Nobody around you has any light. You know, it will drive you insane. So this is why it's important for you to understand that when you lose that light, you can't see no longer. When that bum nigga destroys you, you're going to discredit yourself before you discredit him because you have no light. He stole that. That's his job. You look in the black community, those are women are walking around with no light. They have no idea which way they're going. It's not stupid. They just can't see it. They literally can't see. So it is imperative for you to never lose that. And if you don't check the bloodlines of these brothers, you don't check the bloodline of these brothers, black women, you will not have a light. I'm telling you that. Y'all don't check the bloodline of this transgenerational curse. His transgenerational curse, you don't check it. Okay? There was a quick video that happened with Diddy, and very interesting video that I just seen with Diddy's son. And Diddy's son was at some club being goofy, holding a bottle, being goofy, and he's literally his girl was he wanted her to twerk and turn around, and she gave him this look like, nah, bro, And people in the comments is like, yo, these niggas ain't learn. No, he's not supposed to learn. He's a piece of shit like his father. Diddy's father was a piece of fucking crap. The curse affected him. He looks like him. It's in his DNA. You already see his visuals. He looked just like his father. He is his dad. Puff ain't even step out of the jail yet. And this nigga's on stage, and instead of being low, the nigga's on stage trying to teach this bitch, telling this bitch to turn around. Now, you may look at her. There's nothing to look at. She's with him. She doesn't have a light. She has no clue, because if she had a light and she's seen and she could see, she wouldn't be with nobody in that family. She wouldn't. When Cassie was with Diddy, oh, she was just a hoe. She was just this. It don't matter. She couldn't see. She had no light. When Diddy was out in the hallway whipping her ass, kicking all over the damn place, she had no light then to allow that. No defense, no police, no nothing. So the bad man equally, or he's supposed to prey on that. That's his prey. He's supposed to prey on that. So it's the fact that he's gonna prey on that, that's what he's gonna do. So let me share this one thing real quick. Like I said, they got a lot of construction going on here. If you ever look at any video around us as people, anything you throw at me, you got to look at the bloodline. You have to. Everything is from that. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to Full of Call now. MS says facts. I had a super abusive ex who family lived overseas. He always insisted he wanted to test my blood. Meanwhile, his mother and Narc and family kept telling he's my responsibility. Well, see, how do you know a family's toxic when you don't know the bloodline? To know the bloodline is to do your research on the people that's living. If you have a man that has no type of family and everybody died, that means you're not going to know his bloodline. You got to learn his bloodline. You got to learn that abuse trait. You got to learn that damn toxic trait. Don't worry about the good stuff. The good is the good. That's good. You got to concentrate on the curses, because everybody has one. Some of y'all got multiple. So if you don't learn the curse, you don't learn the curse. It's like a deer in the middle of the night. Can't see. What does a deer do when the lights is in their face? Well, they panic, they stay. That's why you hit them, right? How could you see if you don't know? Oh yeah, he shared some things about his dad. His father wasn't shit, and you still fucked with him. It's one thing if he had told you everything was good, him and his father had a great relationship, but you never seen them together, and they did, and you went upon his words. Then you still fucked up, because now it's like, well, why didn't you dig deeper? You can't go by what he says, but then you go by what he says. So he tells you the truth, you still go ahead, which is dumb. Or he tells you a lie, and you don't know the difference because you went by his word. How do you trust a man's word if you don't know him? You don't know his character. Anybody that comes and visit me, you know my character. You learned it already. You learned it every time you hear a live stream. You learn my character. And if you didn't learn, you didn't pay attention. You learned my character. And that's key. If you learn a person's character, it doesn't matter what they do or say, you know their character. You could know a celebrity's character. You follow them enough. You know R. Kelly's character. You know Diddy's character. You know Jay-Z's character. You learn their characters. You don't know them, but you learn their character. So you have to know whether a person's arrogant, whether a person's private, whether a person has been accused of this situation in the past and how he dealt with it, or whatever. You have to learn the character. So if you're not a good judge of character, amen, you're not a good judge of character, you're never going to know when a person's running game on you because you believe anything. And then when they tell you the truth and it's bad, you want to fix it. Either way, it's bad. So with black men, you have to understand the majority of black men do not share a good bloodline. We all have a generational curse. All of us, including me. So learn what it is and learn how did I break it? Who broke the curse? Learn who broke the generational curse. You can't sit there and look at a curse with a man and not only did you know this curse affects him because you did your research, like you all say, but learn his curse. Okay? Was his father a womanizer? Did his father have multiple babies? So if his father had multiple babies, but the son had one child and he's dedicated to that one child, he broke the generational curse. That's evident. But if his father had multiple children and was in jail and in and out of jail and he was a piece of shit and now the son is this way, it comes from the father. And it went, he didn't break it. So either way, the curse is gonna be in my blood. But now you got to determine, did he break it or did he make it? To make or break you. So if he make the cut, that means the transgenerational bloodline transferred into the son. But if he broke it, he broke the generational curse. If his father was a drug user, an alcohol abuser, and suffered with alcoholism, just one, we're not even going to go down 2 generations. The father and the son never touched drugs a day in his life because he knew what it did to his father. That means he learned the transgenerational curse and broke it. So that means there's a chance he can break that into his children. Now, doesn't mean his kids are, well, his kids are going to be fine because he didn't do it. No, his kids can still be affected by that because that curse is stronger than the power. Okay, you understand? A curse, a curse is very powerful. It could skip a generation. A person could have cancer, and cancer runs in your family, and it probably skipped you, and it could go into your children. High blood pressure, something that runs in most black people's family, the man and the father side, the father and the mother side. You can skip that if you go according to the certain diets. Or maybe you was lucky and broken because you didn't have it because their two conjoined didn't affect you, but it could happen through your offspring. It's very, very important. He said, don't let the demands distract you from doing your diligence. Even deeper than that, you have to pay attention. You got to look at the men. If you don't believe me, get on the internet. Just look at the men babbling on these podcasts, telling and ratting. That's all trauma. That's all trauma. It's all trauma. If it's all trauma, everything. Everything that you see on there is traumatic. And they let it out. You don't realize that because it's like, well, I never realized that it's trauma. All you seeing is them dispersing their trauma. That's the green V right there. Shout out to the green video. Hold on. So, case in point, right? Look at Let's look at the world just randomly. Look at the world. You have entertainment, which is a good way to cover that up, right? Diddy enrolls in domestic violence and drug treatment programs. And you got niggas out here saying free Diddy. These are our leaders. You know what I mean? We don't even have any good positive leaders or role models to even go back and forth with, right? These people get on interviews and they just tell, tell, and tell, right? That's why the world is so screwed up, because this is all bloodline activity. That's all it is. She said, I remember when Cassie says that Diddy was charismatic and demanding, that she constantly was distracted from getting her personal needs met. Right. A demanding man is a weak man. It's a weak man. Demanding? Women should be demanding. You have to. You're a woman. That's a feminine trait. A demanding man is an abusive man. Listen to the layout. Demanding. You demand a dog. You demand a cat. When you demand, there's nothing nice about demanding. If you're mad at your child, you demand you're gonna go to school. Demand is nothing good for a man. When a man sticks you up and robs you, he's demanding you to take your goddamn rings and your jewelry off. You understand? So you got to think of the layout of demanding. That's a horrible trait for a man, but it's a common trait for a male. Males are demanding. Men want accountability. We want a woman to do this. A woman should do that. We men want this. When a woman's riding us, we want it this way. I mean, really? You're doing that for him? Won't they be demanding with each other? That's why everybody's so screwed up. So when you meet a woman that doesn't want to be bothered, she stays to herself. She just goes home. She's tired of dating niggas. Old niggas are ugly. Young niggas are stupid. I mean, come on now. She has no light. Now, as a man, not a male, because I know a male comes in and says, well, I try to be her light. You're a male. You have no light to give. Only one that can say that is a man. He's the only one that can bring her light out. So he tells a woman, well, I could bring, if he was out here bringing out lights, it would show. He's not bringing out any lights. It doesn't matter what he says, once again. But a man's, his existence, his presentation, I don't give a fuck if it's your teacher, okay, your neighbor. A man will bring the light out of a woman. A bad man will break you down. A man will build you up. That's it. There's no other way around that. So a bad man has a job, a good man has a job. But a bad man is a male. A good man is a man. A good male is a man, right? So he's the only one that could build a woman up. He's the only one that could add on to a woman. That's how that's how he created it. That's why they say behind every good man is a good woman, because the woman is the foundation of a man. So once they conjoin to each other, that's how they make music and put the energy into the world, into the universe. Nobody's doing that no more because the male is breaking the woman down and stealing her light. So all the women are walking around lightless. They're lightless. They don't have no hope. They don't have no desire. There's not a rainbow at the end. There's not a light at the end of the tunnel. They can't see the tunnel. They can't even, they're in the tunnel. They can't see anything. You go to Google, you check everything out. You go to his Instagram, you go to his damn TikTok, you go to all those pages, you go to his YouTube, and you still have not learned his bloodline. But if you learned his character and paid attention to it effectively, you could get a glimpse of his bloodline. Because now you got to learn his curse. Because if he was transparent with his presentation of his personality, his characteristic, not his personality, his character, you have to read that. You got to be able to know that. Why are you going to dinner? Why is he taking you out to dinner? Why is he taking you to dinner? For what? What is he taking you to dinner for? Why do men take women to dinner? Oh, I'm just going to get the free food. You're going for the free food. He's going for some potential pussy. If you were with a man, you can't use a man for free food. That's not even on his clock. The male is the only one that's going to go for that. The male is the only one. So if the male is the only one that's going to go for that, he's living in this mode of, if the male is the only one that's going to go for that, that's his set, that's his layout, that's his market. So if you go out to dinner with a man, and your intent is just to get a free meal, because mind you, he ain't even trying to fuck you. You're wasting your time. He just actually took you out because he was generous, just to be out and say, you know what, come out and hang out and have a good old time. Again, if your mindset is the free food because you got no light, all you're going to do is be with the bum nigga. So when the bum nigga takes you out, the bad nigga, the bum nigga, when he takes you out to dinner, you're going to feel, well, now you may actually like this nigga. You may actually think he's cute, but you're with a male now. So he's going to break you down. And you know what's going to happen when he breaks you down? He's going to steal your light. You don't know any difference. You can't see a man. There are no men. You gave up. Even if the man passed by you and was driving a bus, driving a cab, wherever, you don't know because you have no light. He sucked it all out of you when he stole it from you because he had a transgenerational curse that he couldn't break. And now he put it into you. And now you got the disease and you stuck now. That's why you're fucked up. I don't care how many vacations you take. I don't care how much overtime you put at your job. I don't give a fuck how many houses you buy, how much jewelry you buy. It ain't going to do shit. It won't do nothing. You don't have a man in your life. You don't know one. How could you see one? What is the point of, where's your mode of living? There's no goals. All you're doing is a robot. You just working every day. Just what you doing? Working. What have you been up to lately? Nothing but working. Work, go home, and work. You have nothing to live for. Because as a woman, you have to have a man to complete you. It doesn't mean a boyfriend, it doesn't mean a husband, a man. You have to have the light on to have a man to complete you. I don't give a fuck if he's your homeboy. Not a male, because you may get a mistake. Well, my friend is like, your friend may be a male. Because if his goddamn bloodline is fucked up, he's no good for you. There's no apps to check this. There's not an app in the world to check this. There's not an AI. You could go to AI and ask them about this guy that you're seeing. Okay, that's a computer. That's not real. That's man-made. That's not spiritual. That's not using common sense. That's not, the proof is not in the pudding that way. That's just a computer's interpretation which a man created. You can't go by that. It may make it easier. It may sound good. You may go to chat, GBT, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's still AI. It's artificial intelligence. You don't want artificial intelligence. You want authentic intelligence. They don't tell you that. And that's why you're the position that you in. Look at the summertime. Oh, it's this, it's that. Yeah, weather's kind of whatever. Not the greatest. But that goddamn light, where's that light at? You know that song, Shine a Light on Them. Yeah, shine a light on them. You thought it was just a club thing, like everybody waving their hands in the air? Shine the light. There's no gift in this world better than your vision, what you can see. Eyes are the window of the world. A man knows that male. The male don't know the difference. He don't know when a man is in the goddamn room. But that man knows when he's there. He said bad bloodlines belong with bad blood. Well, they we unfortunately we don't want bad bloodlines. That's a great question. We don't want bad bloodlines to belong with bad bloodlines because it just keeps ruining our race. The mother and father is fucked up. The mother's fucked up from the father. The father is fucked up from his father. You know, we don't need that. We need to break the curses. So the one thing, if a woman's gonna deal and take a risk on a bad bloodline, she has to deal with a man that came from that bloodline that can break it. And the problem is the majority of these niggas is not men. So she's almost stuck where she almost has no choice. But if the curses were getting broken, it could change. Anything is possible on that level. You understand? You know, so you put two bad bloodlines together, the kids are gonna be shit. Unless they were lucky enough to have one child in there to say, you know what, my parents were all fucked up. They're gonna break this curse for this generation, yeah. But now he has to worry about the next. Black woman, you're worried about promises being broken. You worried about lies. He lies. Oh, the men lie to me. Oh, yeah, darling, that's personal. Okay? Just deal with a man that broke the damn generational curse. That's it. That's what you want. You want a man that knew his bloodline, broke the curse. Cause you ain't gotta deal with all that bullshit. You worried about petty shit. Niggas lying, niggas can't keep it real. I mean, you just gonna keep dealing with niggas that lie, niggas that keep it real. That's a common male. You can't complain about that. Maybe you should think about who you giving your pussy to. You understand? You gotta think about that. Who you opening up your legs to? Do you know who this nigga is? Well, he seems cool. You know his personality or do you know his character? Big difference. Two different separate meanings. Okay, don't let nobody tell you that they're similar. A person could create a personality, but a characteristic, that's who you are. That's deeper than personality. Characteristic is who you are behind closed doors. If you see a person's personality, he's clean, nice, always shaves. But if he's in a bathroom fucking himself with a dildo every goddamn morning, that's his character. How do you learn that? You dig? You got to go deeper. And you could. You live with a nigga. You know the nigga's a dirty nigga because you open the door and see this nigga beating off the porn. That's his character. Well, nigga, what is it if we talk to you every day? If you listen to my attributes, you're gonna learn his character. You're gonna know what I do for a living. You know where I live. You know you know what I mean? How does he move around? Now, on a deeper level, now you hang out with a person. Now you spend the night with a person. Then you live with a person. All these are characters. A personality is just to pull you in. You know, you can see a nigga in the bar, he's sending you a drink over, he's nice and cool, dresses nice, but the nigga's home is a fucking wreck. Because he's dirty. You didn't know, because you see the nigga always fresh and clean, but his house, he's a fucking hoarder. Shout out to Mr. Rock. I'm telling you, your title of today's lesson is what I told my daughters as young ladies in training. Very true. I'm telling you, brother. And shout out to your daughters, man, for having a good father like you. So when a woman is coming out, I'm independent, I do for myself, that's fine. That's a good character. That's great. I applaud that. I do. I love a woman that got it going on. But I want to know that. I want to know your truth. I want to know your family curse. I don't want to know nothing else about who did this and everybody got big butts on this side of the family. I want to know the transgenerational curse. Are the women male worshippers? Are the men womanizers? Because then we could determine a lot of different things. I want to learn that. Don't give me no other shit. I want to know that curse. Oh, my family used to go to church. We're church people. Really? What kind of church people are you? Was you faithful to your church or faithful to God? Because if you're faithful to your church, okay, I want to find out who was taking advantage of that. Somebody was taking advantage of that one way or another. Y'all too easy. And that's why that man was able to get over on you so much. The man can't figure it out. He's all like, I don't understand. He's fucked up because he can't understand how could you do that? Now on the flip side, what about the man that's with a controlling woman? That's a transgenerational curse. His father probably didn't teach him shit. If the father was a Mac and he didn't teach his sons are going to be screwed up. Period. The end. It's all relative. Your relatives, your cousins. Oh, I don't deal with my cousins. I stay to myself. You know what? There's a curse in there because they're cousins. They're relatives. What kind of bloodline do they have? What is the family curse? Ancestry.com doesn't tell you that. Your physical may give you a gist of it. Your physical may give you a gist. Because when they ask you, do you have high blood pressure? Now you came back that you had high blood pressure. Now they got to figure out, does depression run in your family? Does heart disease run in your family? Does kidney disease? They want to know because the numbers were up. And you may say, well, my father died of suicide. My mother was an ex-drug user. Oh, okay. So he's fucked up on both sides. Well, in order for you to break this curse, you're going to have to change your diet. You're going to have to exercise. They're giving you a motive because this can affect you. Depression, anxiety, all this stuff is transgenerational. Now, a lot of y'all are producing new things in your family bloodline. Oh, we didn't talk about that. Because now the family 40 years ago didn't have social media. You have the new disease. So in 40, 50 years, they're going to say, did you have any family that was addicted to social media? Well, my dad was. He actually died on social media trying to promote a fucking party. So he neglected his health. He worked hard. He bust his ass. He was always trying to make sure his crowd was happy. I never looked at it like that. You have to look at it that way. Well, a man tells you what he wants you to know. He doesn't know. He doesn't know. He doesn't know this. He doesn't use this technique when he meets a woman. All he worried about is how many kids you got, how many babies daddies you got. He just wants to know your personality, if you're a freak or not. He doesn't know what character is. He just wants to know your personality. I take her to dinner. She likes seafood. Hopefully I can get some pussy tonight. Oh, what guys want. How can a woman say what guys want? She hasn't met a man. How can a woman say what guys want? She hasn't met a man. Anybody knows what guys want. Well, why don't she tell you what a man wants? Show me one. Challenge her. Show me one man in your life. I got one. That's not a man, darling. Oh, because you say it's not? Yeah. You understand? Shout out to Philip. Philip says, absolutely, generational curse can really damage us. Right. We all have a generational curse now. We all have one. Amen. All of us have one. The question is, do you know yours? The women on my father's side worship men. That's their downfall. So when you become a male worshiper, you can't worship a man, a real man, right? So you're only going to worship that male because the male is very demanding. A male is abusing. So they got to be, anybody with Diddy has to worship him, all right? No real woman's going to be with Diddy. A lady could never be with Diddy. If she ever was, she lost her life. She's no longer a lady because he took it. That's the family curse on my father's side, right off the rip. Okay. Now my father's side is they love women that had a million fucking kids. Them niggas had some babies all over the goddamn place. You feel what I'm going with that? Now you got your mother's side with family men that raise their kids. However, alcohol is one bloodline that affects them because the man on that side did a lot of alcohol as well. Got to be aware of that. One side of the family, a lot of daughters and sons were raised without their fathers, seen a lot of abuse. Another side was raised. I got cousins right now on my mother's side. These niggas is in their 60s. They parent, my uncle and aunt is still here. They still come from one section of North Carolina to meet up with them. They always going to dinner, always doing things. They're the same way they was since we was little kids. My mother's best friend married my uncle, and they're still together. Niggas been married for nearly 70 years. My oldest uncle living. You understand what I'm saying? So that's in my DNA. Long-term marriage, long-term relationships, good role models. That's fine. But we have to find what is the negative about it. The uncles weren't as affectionate, as loving. You know what I mean? They showed love through their dedication. They showed love through all this. They showed love through their mode of being there. But you may tell an uncle on my mother's side, hey, I love you. And they say, you too. But you may tell a family member on my father's side, I love you. And they say, man, I love you, man, to another. You understand? Because that side of my family was more, how do I say, affectionate. So where do we go? Now that sounds good to give that character a little layout when you're meeting somebody. No, you want to stick on what the curses were. Temper, bad temper, grudge holding, all these things you got to break. You understand? That's real. A male is demanding, but a real man is inspiring. Very much. You have a man that has these demands. A woman got to bring something to the table. She got to cook. She got to clean. That ain't a fucking man. A man, that won't even come out of a man's mouth. It ain't, because it ain't that serious. He gonna get that. That doesn't come out of his mouth. That's not even in a mode of a demand or a wish list. So y'all, when y'all meeting people out here, oh, you just exchanging bad bloodlines that haven't been broken, and you're having babies with these niggas. You exchanging saliva, DNA. Okay, DNA is no joke. You sleep on DNA. Go to Ancestry or 23andMe. You got to spit into a tube. I did it. You have to take your saliva and put it in a tube, and it goes to a lab. Okay, that shit means something. So your DNA, you taking your DNA and you having sex with somebody, and the nigga's toxic. What is the point of that? You just taking this transgenerational curse, you sucking it, licking it. Now you want you to lick this shithole. Now they on the internet talking about licking men. Yo, they just don't know what the fuck they doing. What do you think? You think you go into a man's pee-pee hole and butthole and licking all these different DNAs, ass juice, cum juice. Then you have the nerve to want to kiss him in his fucking mouth. Meanwhile, it took him a couple of years to work for that. Really? That's all you worth? Damn, that's easy. You could bullshit everybody with that. But if you was official as you claim, you got to think about, if I'm going to mix my DNA, well, with a nigga, make sure it's a man, okay? You know, because just in case the nigga could die. When a man passes away, you mix your DNA up with a man. I don't give a fuck if it was your male friend. He going to leave a light on you. That light can't be stolen. But when you deal with that shithole, you had sex with this nigga. You dealt with that dirty, filthy motherfucker. Yeah, he had on a suit. Didn't matter. He still was a piece of shit. Because you believed everything you seen on paper. Well, he made 6 figures. What does that have to do with anything? That means nothing. That's just a pay. That looks good on paper. That means nothing. He's still a piece of shit. And now you fucked him because you felt that he had a grown man. Well, wait till another 5, 10, 15 years and tell me how that shit is doing for you. I could look at an ex right now or a woman I dealt with right now. I guarantee that none of them are fucking married. Not one of them. And if they are, they're in an abusive marriage. If they in a relationship, they not even happy. None of them. Not one. Yeah, but I can tell you, they make money. They'll keep a good job. This one they go. This one kept a nice house. Yeah, they all gonna do that. All of them. Been on this world 30, 40, 50, sometimes 60 fucking years and still don't know. Now, the male is on the internet dragging y'all on social media. You listening to him. That's why nobody want him. Don't listen to him. Nobody wants him but you. You get it? Nobody wants him but you. That's why it matters what he says. But when I come and tell him, I say, when I tell him nobody wants you, he believes it. That's the difference, because he knows a man is talking. He may not have known when I walked in the door, but he says, he got to be a man, because only a man would have told me that. Only a man would only know that. He doesn't know. He knows I do. Y'all out here rolling around. Yeah, we out here getting money, shaking ass, twerking. You know, niggas got to pay for this pussy and this brown and all. Yeah, I mean, you get a lot of motherfucking niggas for that. Ain't no doubt about that. But boy, when that shit comes crashing later, as you get older, it's going to be a motherfucker. You're going to go through depression from shit that happened 30 years ago. It ain't going to get you now. It'll get you later. It will get you later. Well, hey, Nate, how can I break the transgenerational curse as a man? Break the curse. I don't know what your curse is. I don't know how many curses you got. Break them. Go find them out and break them. Ask your mother why your father left you. Left you and your mother for dead. Okay? Don't go out there trying to fuck girls up because you're angry. Don't go out there blaming women because you feel your mother pushed your father. Go out there and break the fucking curse. and be a fucking man. You too busy running to different countries, loving their cultures. Fuck their culture. How about your culture? You're not even proud of your culture, black man. You go to everybody else's culture for a fucking vacation. Some of y'all niggas want to move there. They love each other better over here. You niggas will go love a prostitute because you hate your culture so bad. What is the black culture? Because black people don't know their culture. White ones love it. They love it. They want your neighborhoods. They want your look. They want your body. They want your skin. They want everything with your culture. They want your music. How many white hoes is on fucking Instagram dancing to Take It to the Max? They love our music. You think Kendrick Lamar and Drake are celebrities and rich and famous because of niggas? No, that's black culture. That's why they're successful, because everybody that wants to be cool is to be black is to be cool. They gotta be lit. They gotta listen to our music. Our music is the best in the world. You think Sexy Red got big because a whole bunch of black niggas blew her up from Memphis? No. Crackers is on that shit. Black culture, our music, our style, our swagger, everything. Look what the Kim Kardashians did. They stole black culture. What did Amber Rose did? Steal black culture. They steal it. They call you ugly and then they fucking go take it and put it on themselves. What is it when a white woman gets her lips big and puts a big butt? That's black culture. We're born that way. That's DNA evidence. But our own black man don't even love his own black woman. He doesn't even love his own black woman. He don't want to go to Africa. Ain't a nigga out here that want to go to Africa. But a black man does. A nigga don't want no parts of Africa. No parts of that shit. But he go to that Latin country with them $10 fucking prostitutes and try to go over there and procreate. That's a generational fucking transgenerational curse at its finest. Where's that coming from? These niggas is old niggas out there looking for love. They've been looking for love since 5 fucking years old. Niggas is 55, 1 foot in a fucking graveyard. Whole bunch of diseases, whole bunch of health issues, and niggas want a damn wife in the Philippines. Don't care if she got 10 fucking kids. He hates his black woman that much. But that Asian bitch with a fat African ass, goddamn, I gotta have her. That's his father. His father was a piece of fucking crap. Well, like I said, his father was a stockbroker. Again, you know his father, his personality, you know his character. The bloodline shows that it goes deeper than character. You don't know his true character. You know what he showed you. You don't know who his father. How many times y'all see these Lifetime movies and the guy's like this some corporate guy in Wall Street, and then he got a woman locked up in a fucking basement for years and nobody knew about it, even the wife and daughter. And then they find him. True stories, and they're like, "Oh my God, I didn't know he was a monster or a serial fucking killer." They don't know. That bad man will break your ass down, black woman. I don't give a fuck how strong you are. You could talk all that strong shit you did, and I could, well, bitch, you ain't got a light. He stole that shit from you. What nigga stole your fucking light? What do you mean by that? Yeah, usually that's what they say. What do you mean by that? Because she had a real nigga presser. You remind me of that average male. He don't know what to do when a real motherfucker speaks. God damn, how the fuck did he know that? He must know something I don't know. Nobody want to lie when somebody knows something. That's like you in a crowd and people are talking. They're like, okay, now watch out, Nathaniel Coy. You're gonna be like, oh shit, somebody knows me in here. Especially when you're about to bullshit. But if you know you keep it in a stack, you like, well, who the fuck is you, nigga? Come up here. You got something to say? I'm here trying to talk. Why you trying to fuck my shit up? Do you understand? Shout out to K Beauty. You gotta learn. You gotta be able to know. You're not gonna know until you know. Okay? Do some real evidence on his bloodline before you give him that pussy box. That pussy's gold. That's gold to a man. Oh man, we don't need it. We got options. Yeah, because he gonna go fuck another man. That's about it. He'll go fuck a nigga that look like you, called a transsexual. That about it. Or another dumb bitch that doesn't know. That about it. Yeah, he got options. But your options are bigger than his. You the one with the pussy. A man that can't get no ass, he's worthless. You give it to him, you just add it on to him. You fucked it all up. Yeah, fuck you, Nate. She gave me the pussy though. And I'm like, I don't got no argument now. I'm like, well, you gave it to him. I sure don't want it. You fucked him. Oh, you think you gave it to him? I can't follow that. I couldn't even do it to myself. The fact that you fucked that nigga, I don't even want. I'm turned off. And you'll see. Because you try to bring your non-light on to me. I don't like that. That's a turn off to me. Don't show me that ex nigga. Because if I see that he was a male, you may turn me off. I could tell you one goddamn thing. When you here in this mode, hold on, I gotta put this sister up, man. Salute to her. So I had this sister yesterday. Let me post a picture. It's a beautiful feeling, man. And I'm very thankful. I'm very thankful when these ladies could come here to New York City, man, and see the big bro. You know what I mean? That means the world to me. It really does. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to see how effective my presentation is, my character, my need to live. I want to see how effective that is. Now we had a great night, man. Sitting on couches up in there. My, my pants is a little wrinkled in this motherfucker, but my shorts because we was chilling, man. And you know, it's a great feeling when you have people that you could put that face with that voice, and boy, oh boy, oh boy, it's a no. I'm gonna post a picture real quick and show y'all. So this sister here by the name of Candace, salute to her. She came in from the West Coast to see the big brother. Now, the great thing about New York, you can meet in a million places. You know what I mean? The choice is yours. It ain't mine. You know what I mean? Because there's too many different places to pick. I could suggest, you could suggest. But shout out to the sister, man. And this is funny as shit. Hold on. Shout out to Candace, man. You know what I'm saying? This is old girl right here, man. We lit, man. Like niggas is we had the couch, we had the podcast couch. I felt like I was home yesterday, man. Shout out to the Red Roof Inn, man. Goddamn. Uh, this is us, man. You know what I'm saying? This is with the big bro. And you know, it's important, man, to have these connections in your life, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to see that change. You know, when you meet me, you know what I mean. It ain't all love, nigga. I love you. You know what I'm saying? That's what you gotta say. Because I'm gonna tell you that. It's important. Because your sister's looking bad out here, man. Not her. I'm not. I'm not trying to discredit you, but you're looking bad in a good way. Because as much as you're trying to cover it up, I can see right through that shit. Again, professional. My sister's an issue that got it going on. There ain't no slouches here. These women got it going on. These women fly all over the United States, all over the world. It's nothing to them. But when I could sit here and talk to them and connect and know loud, you know what I mean? You hear. Lady, if I had known you when I was younger, I would have made a lot of mistakes. I would have made a lot of mistakes, but everything happens for a reason. Yeah, I know that. Listen to me. They blamed and said, well, damn, Nate, how come the fathers didn't have these conversations? I said, well, you would have questioned it. And the father didn't want to lie to his daughter. Sometimes when a father's telling you about a man, don't ask him about, did you do that to mommy? And fathers, when you're talking to your daughters and they ask you, did you do that to mommy? Just tell them no. You can't explain to them whether you did or you didn't. It's not important. Just tell them no and proceed with your teachings. And be wary and be careful, because if you slip and they see that you slipped in some shit that you did do to mommy, okay, you force her to lose her light, because now you're a bad man. Be careful, pops. Be careful with that. You got to be extra, extra careful. Got to be careful. It's very important. You got to be careful. That's it. And a lot of y'all are walking around here, sisters, with no light. He stole it already. Some of y'all walking out here 25, 30, 40 years. That light been gone since the 90s. That's why nothing's changing. That's why it's not getting any better, because your light is gone. Listen to the inspiring songs, Rain on Me, and Let Me Know You There, and shine a light on anything that has to do with that light. That light is important, man. You don't want to lose the light. And why are we prone? Because of our community. Our community is prone because we have a lot of transgenerational curses. Look up what transgenerational means. Listen to this. How you break this down? When something is transgenerational, you got to think on the level of the meaning. We just keep learning, you know, transgender. The generational refers to the transmission of something, whether it be a trait, a pattern, a belief, or even trauma from one generation to the next, often without direct inheritance. You could direct something into somebody with your words. Transgenerational trauma. This refers to the passing down of trauma-related effects from one generation to the next, impacting individuals' mental and physical health. It can be collective experience, which I told y'all could be a collective experience affecting groups of people. Like they give an example, descendants of the Holocaust survivors, or just individual families. What is the meaning of transgenerational? Passed on from one generation to the next without direct genetic inheritance. What is the synonym for transgenerational? A good synonym for transgenerational, which also refers to something passed down or impacting multiple generations. Multiple generations. So that shit could happen. That shit could be generations. Y'all look at your family tree. You don't even know if there was incest involved. Just imagine looking at your family tree. You go to school. Here's my family tree from the 1800s. We was this. What family curse? Because there had to be some shit going in there. Because there's not a human being on this world that's perfect. Amen. So what was going on? The family tree looks great. That's cute. But what was really, really going on? What was really going on in those trees? You know, I watched Little House on the Prairie. I remember there was one episode where this old man was trying to marry this little 13-year-old girl. I can't believe they showed this episode. And he was in love with her. At the end of the vote, he didn't marry her, but you got to remember what was happening in these communities. The crazy, sick shit. So 400 years of slavery, for 400 years, if our woman was being raped by the white man and putting that ugly black coon in the goddamn field to pick up cotton while they rape his woman, because you got to fuck, you know what I mean? We were fucking to reproduce, you got to fuck, right? So what do we think? Pornographic stuff only starts happening now because we can see the film? That shit was happening millions of years ago. How did you get here? What curses affected the family? This family tree that looks so good, and you see a family, and you know, you seeing people. I go to customers' houses and I see pictures on the wall. What was really what was the father doing when he was younger? What's the real story behind these photos? You ever see these families? Oh my God, they were the perfect family, and the cop, turned the gun on himself and turned the gun on everybody, killed his wife and kids, and then turned the guns on himself. Okay, what was going on with that man to do that? When men talk highly about men, I always side eye and know the real. Right, because men, see, the thing is, a man will put a man on a pedestal before a woman, and a woman will put a man on a pedestal before a woman. You understand? Yeah, I said it. A man will put a man on a pedestal before a woman, but a woman will put a man on a pedestal before a woman. She will. So if you have to service, I see this one woman yesterday. I'm driving uptown, and this one woman was holding an umbrella over the guy's head. He was in the back seat of he was in the back of an SUV trying to get something out. She's holding an umbrella over this nigga. She should be holding an umbrella over herself. He's a goddamn man. Now, if y'all happen to be walking the street and y'all share the umbrella together, that's different. She's holding it over him. Who's the man here? Watch that male worshiper. Watch him. Learn his bloodline. That's all I'm going to tell you. That trauma-stricken thug, one thing about him, he'll tell you. I give him that. He says it in his music. Father wasn't shit. Mama wasn't shit. One thing I give, the one positive thing I give about that thug, he will tell you his traumatic past. Oh yeah, he will share that shit. That's part of being a gangster. They share that. You could go on the street right now and talk to a whole bunch of homies and say, listen, man, I'm here doing an interview. I just want to talk to some of the brothers about coming up in the game and coming up rough in these streets and having a rough past with family. They're going to talk about it. They're all going to have a similar story. As a filmmaker, that's what they're going to do. I'm telling you. That's how he's on the streets. You ain't a street nigga if you came from a good foundation. Okay? You came from a dysfunctional foundation to be on the streets. Amen. So you embrace his dysfunction because now you think, well, the thug is the most masculine man in the world. Well, I get it. You probably looking at the fact he's fearless and all the above, but he's a street nigga. You can't make no future with him. He in the streets. Well, I'm trying to change him, help him get a positive. Nah, don't do that. He's a street nigga. Well, then I know some guys that came from the streets and changed their life. They wasn't street niggas. There was no street niggas. Well, Judge Mathis, he changed. Judge Mathis wasn't a street nigga. He was already a judge. He just went through a rough childhood, and he broke the generational curse. Big difference. He was never a street man. He was always a man. A street nigga's a complete fucking loser. So if a man changed his life because he murdered 10 niggas and now he's driving a bus for the city of New York, that's not the reality. Because number one, the city of New York is not going to hire a nigga that got 10 bodies. Not even that's a murder. You understand? It's a big difference. He was in the streets, but he's not a street nigga. It's a big difference. Judge Mathis, Judge Joe Brown, you know what I mean? They was in the streets. They broke the generational curses, overcame they battles and curses, and made success. That's what they do. A real street nigga dies by the gun, dies by the sword. So how do you marry a nigga like that when he ain't gonna be living long? Well, Snoop Dogg was a street nigga. Snoop Dogg was in the streets, not a street nigga. Big difference. Okay? Pop Smoke was a street nigga. He died by the gun. Them niggas don't live long. It's just it. You see how some of these rappers, all these niggas is gangsters. Them niggas ain't no gangsters. They wouldn't be no rapper. Paying for taxes, going shows, contracts. No, that they ain't nothing street about that. Niggas got guidelines. They got guidelines, and they could go to jail if they break the law. Doesn't matter. Well, Gucci had to kill. Gucci may kill somebody in self-defense. Big difference. He ain't a killer. Big difference. Ain't a rapper standing alive that we all know that killed 10 niggas and still rapping and making platinum records. Now, would that still sell? Of course it would, but he wouldn't get that far. There's no way. They'll kill him. Street nigga. Can't be around long with that. Not with that mentality. It's impossible. So Eminem, 8 Mile, that guy's a gangster. His real name's Clarence, and Clarence is home with both parents. Clarence plays to have a real good marriage. Hello. I forgot how that movie went. But remember, the movie had a lot to do with Eminem's coming up. See, one thing about me, I never insulted, and I always teach people this. Sisters got to stop worrying about if the married man is more of the man kind of man they want versus a man that lives home with his mama. It's a big difference. Like, married nigga can't do nothing for you. Unless he's shedding light on you to be a better person, because he's just generally a man that cares and just building. That's different, but he can't do shit for you. You could build a nigga that live with his mother. That's easy. But you prefer to build that street fucking bum. He's a bum forever. You'll see. Wait till you have kids with him. Have a kid with him and see what happens. Your kids are going to be fucked up, or you're going to be a shitty father, or you're going to die early. There's a guy out here that passed away from a motorcycle accident recently, and they couldn't understand. Wow, tall brother, good looking dude. He left behind 2 daughters. He was a good man. Yeah, but he was selfish. Anybody that owns a motorcycle is selfish. If you have a motorcycle and you have a family, you are selfish. But I know they think they tough when they get on there. They hit the rev, vroom, 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 and they barbaric. Yeah, take a little bullshit Toyota RAV4 and see what it does to them. Take that little fucking Toyota, that little shitty fucking truck, and see what it does. Make a U-turn in front of him when he's going fucking 80 miles an hour down the street and see what happens. Motorcycles are selfish. Motorcycles are for people that have nothing to live for. You have no kids. You have no family. You don't give a fuck about life. Nobody deals with you. You don't have no friends, family. Get a motorcycle. Perfect. Because if you die, then you're by yourself. Nobody's suffering. You retire from your job. You reach retirement. The government don't got to give you shit. They ain't got to give your wife shit because you don't have one. You know what I mean? That's what a motorcycle's for. But grown folks think, well, I could do what I want to do. Yeah, okay. Well, you'll see when somebody hits you in that motherfucker. Have you ever seen a man in a motorcycle accident? In a fatal accident? Horrible sight. You never see the body because the body's all over the fucking place. So people may think this was a good guy in the newspaper. Wow, man, such a shame. No, it's such a shame that he didn't appreciate his life because he killed himself. You buy a motorcycle, you might as well just put a gun in your fucking head. It's the same shit. You might as well play Russian roulette. Just put one bullet in the chamber and take a risk and see which one is going to blow you out. You know what Russian roulette is? That's when you put the bullet into a revolver and you take a clip. You take a shot, one shot. Hopefully that's not the fucking fatal bullet. That's all it is. That's what it is. When you see the good guy that had the good job and left behind beautiful daughters and a mother and father and the family's sick and stricken and devastated because they'll never be the same because their father was selfish. If father wasn't on that motorcycle, he would have been alive. What could happen in a car? It's less likely to happen in a car. If you're going down the street 60 miles an hour, somebody makes a U-turn, you have a chance of survival. You got less chance of survival on a motorcycle. Period. They don't tell you that when you buy that motherfucker. That's why those fatal accidents it always ends bad. Motorcycle accident means fatal. Shout out to Lucky Me. And I had a cousin that got into a motorcycle accident. He got airlifted from South Carolina to Charlotte. Dude didn't die, but he's still not the same. Of course not. You got a bike with 300 horsepower, man. You know how dangerous that is? A bike. You taking a chance of riding the street with an electric bike, thinking some of y'all niggas be cutting in front of cars. Yeah, keep it up. Keep it up. Keep playing with that 5,000 pound fucking car and your bike is 20 pounds. Keep it up. Keep it up. Or your body's 250 pounds. Keep it up. And that person falls asleep or the car disengages in the wrong gear or whatever. The brakes fail. You'll see what happens. That's the unfortunate part because now the family left behind is distraught. He did them dirty. That's why a lot of you niggas go, I'm gonna kill this nigga. Why you gonna let the family suffer? You don't kill a man to make his family suffer because he ain't suffering. He's gone. Make him suffer, nigga. Put that nigga, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna give you no ideas, but make him suffer and let him be alive and suffer. Don't take away him for his daughters to suffer. What good is that? That's why when you see people take their family, they say, why'd you have to take them away? Because they're hurt. We didn't do shit to you. You understand? Fuck that. When I'm behind a motorcycle, man, I'll pull over. I'll let him go. Oh, yeah, he's tough. He's on there with his muscles, trying to be tough, hitting the room. I said, if I took this van, car, everything that I own, he's dead. If I hit the gas on this motherfucker, he is finished. He's finished. That part. Pay attention. Look around you, man. Bloodlines, man, are haunting people. Some of the people got bloodlines. They don't even know what their bad bloodlines is. They walking around with bad blood. You don't even know you're sick. It's a sickness. You may, well, we have good health in our family, yeah, but you got some traumatic curses. We all got them. Which one is yours? Are you aware of it? Do you know what it is? I remember actor Daryl Chill Mitchell became paralyzed. I remember that. Shout out to Larry. Yeah, I remember that. I lost a lot of niggas on bikes. My first death I seen was a motorcycle accident. I remember this nigga in front of my crib when I was a kid. I never forget, man. The gold chain was on the floor. A little chain. I never forget that. All this blood. The fire department got to come in and wash away the blood and put it in the sewer. That's how much blood it is. They got to come there with the water hose and put that shit into the sewer. From a fucking motorcycle. Now, 30, 40 years later, his family is still fucked up over that. I know I am because I remember seeing that shit. I remember when I was a little kid, and me and my mother was at the bus stop, and this motorcycle was vroom, 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 and then we got on the bus. Then it was traffic. We get to the damn top of the hill. This nigga's laid out on the fucking floor. Motorcycles on the other side of the street. Ain't that some shit? I was a child. Never will forget that. That's a trauma. So if that trauma taught me to never ride a bike because I'm traumatized from that. See, when you're beyond your bloodline, you go through trauma. So now you have traumatic things you've seen. Okay? We're on the internet now, so we've seen a whole bunch of shit we should have never seen. I remember the worst thing I seen on Facebook was so sick I can't even tell you what it was. That's how bad it was. Only good thing is they killed the nigga. They showed him, they cut him all up and put him in the back of the truck. This is on Facebook. After what this man did. Y'all go to these holy countries and a lot of weird shit be happening, man, with these fucking pedophiles. But you can't tell because you see a painted picture. A man can't even paint the picture of a woman. A woman is nothing but a canvas. You're supposed to paint the picture. We're supposed to build the woman up, all right? So if the woman is our foundation, she's the foundation of a man to stand up. We got to build her up so the foundation will be stronger. So you have a woman. She's the foundation. You build the building. When you get to the top and you complete it, she's the foundation holding you up. You built the building. That's how you make a union with man and woman. You niggas right now want to build it with men. Shit is crazy. Like, what the fuck is going on out here, man? You got people out here, you know, oh yeah, Trump this, Trump that. Listen, man, it's all in the bloodline. That's why they're doing that. You know, when you want another man's dick to that degree, that's a problem. They're cursed. You dig into their bloodline, it's always going to tell you the answer. Always. It will always tell you. That shit, listen, you got the black box in the plane, okay? That fucking plane, 300 people died in a plane accident. They get the black box tells it all, okay? You're sick, you go to the doctor, they're going to take your blood. They're going to check what's wrong because the blood test is going to say what is wrong. Lab. That's what the laboratory's for. So your personal laboratory is to check his bloodline, his traumatic transgenerational curse. Check it out. Dig deeper. You will find the answer. When you see MAGA hats, pay that shit no mind. That's all bad blood. Don't even entertain it. You see a guy that's in a truck and he's got flags on the back of his shit, man, and you know what I mean? What's going to happen? The minute you start hitting that truck with them bullets, he knows why it happened. It ain't like he's going to be shocked. It'd be shocked if he minded his business and kept it to himself. You know, he knows why. So don't feel bad for him. Matter of fact, stay away from him. He's antagonizing somebody. He's going to die like that. Somebody going to get him. Trump supporters like to antagonize people. You can't fall into the trap of that shit. Just stay the fuck away. Ignore them. The power's in your voice. Don't talk. Don't say shit. Yeah, I hear you. That's it. There's some sick motherfuckers. The Confederate flags, all that shit. You gotta either pay that shit no mind, man. You can't. Because if you pay it mind, you're gonna do harm to yourself. You kill them, you harm yourself. You get it? What are you gonna do? You know what you could do to another man. Always put that in your mind. I know right now I could blow this nigga's head off, but you're gonna suffer. Because now you're alive, they're gonna lock you up, and this nigga's dead, and he's in La La Land. He ain't feeling nothing. That's to antagonize. That's the devil. They're trying to pull you in. When that shit pops up on your thing, just don't recommend channel. Control your algorithm. Your life is an algorithm. Control it. That's why they tell you life is what you make it. You're in control of your destiny. So when all the bullshit is coming to you, that's all bad blood. Just gotta bob and weave that shit. You gotta bob and weave it. Okay, it's raining outside, it's storming. Go in the door, go inside. Well, I had to make this quick run. Yeah, you're gonna fuck around and get into a flood. Your car's gonna get in a flood. You gotta stay away from that. Oh, the media's putting this out. It's not just the media. It's not just social media. It's the people. People are fucked up. They're lost. People don't know what to talk about anymore. They can't talk about love. It's easier to talk about hate. Shout out to the Shy Room. Good seeing you. That's it. And black women, stop trying to change these motherfuckers. Can't change a bum. You know, you're just getting abused. That's all. And that's why some of y'all may come back here. Well, you know, that the nigga did me dirty. They go back to Nate. They always come to me when a nigga do them dirty. Until then, when I find out who you are, I kick your ass out of here. Because you can't get no direct contact with me on WhatsApp anymore. Okay, you're not gonna bring that you're not gonna bring you're not gonna bring his transgenerational curse into my fucking sector. That shit is very potent and very transferable. Don't bring it over here. Because when the smoke clears, you're gonna be right back with him. And then you're gonna blame yourself. Well, it was actually me, and keep it simple. Control your destiny, man. Believe me, it's a beautiful thing. Life is beautiful. It really, really can be beautiful. You just you gotta make it like that. A lot of y'all just fucking up. You're just wasting time. You got that low vibrational loser, and now you just swear your DNA with him. You fucked it all up now. Now you got the cooties. That's why nobody wants you. But him and all the rest of the fucking bums. As pretty as you are, you wasted it. Because you don't check bloodlines. All you do is listen to niggas' swag and their stories and their personality. You like this way he wears his clothes. What kind of foolish shit is that? Why don't you check his goddamn bloodline? And after you check it, say no thank you. No fucking thank you. No thanks, I'm good. Thank you. Okay, that's what my daughter says. No thank you. No thank you. Darling, you want this? No thank you. She puts her little hand in the air. No thank you. And she don't want it, she means it. She don't want that shit, she means it. Okay? Here, eat the pizza, darling. No thank you. She'll push that shit away. Get it out of my face. That's how she gonna be with that nigga. That gruesome fucking bastard. All he could give a woman is dick. You know, I had this young boy I told you about. I gave him a wrong impression, and I said, I'll never do that with a kid ever again. And I guess he was around me for half a day. It was my homegirl's son. And by the end of the day, this nigga want to fuck everything. And I said, oops. I didn't realize it until he want to fuck my little 13-year-old neighbor. And he's 15. I didn't like that. Now I look, I say, man, you ain't got nothing. You 15 years old and don't got nothing to give. But then I had to look at his bloodline. His mother's all fucked up. Father's a piece of fucking dirt. Mother's living boyfriend's a piece of shit. You know, his grandfather's fucked up. His grandfather on his mother's side is fucked. You know what I mean? So it ain't all his fault. You know? I know because I knew better. You know what I mean? Did I trust you in chat? In the chat, if there's someone here, I associate them. If someone is here, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Shout out to the Green V. Y'all about to see the Green V in rare form in a minute, so just stay tuned. Salute. It's my girl right there. The YouTube wife will be seen. But yeah, that's it. That's really it, people. So, black woman, all that little fixing shit, good luck with that. Because that shit will never work. Ever. Ever. Your light is out. You can't fix it, nigga. Your light is out. Because if you had light, you wouldn't be with that piece of shit. A woman that has her light on, she gonna be with a real man. Period. The end. You know what I mean? When your light is out, you gonna be with the average nigga. That's just what it happens. Okay? Yeah, you pretty, you cute, but you're broken down. He broke you down already. He breaks you down to steal your light. You didn't check his bloodline. You didn't check it. Well, how do I do that? Because again, go ask him. Go talk. Don't fucking talk to me. You got all the goddamn answers. All you're going to do is argue and protect him. That's in your bloodline. I checked your bloodline out. All y'all did on your father's side, because the father's venom is transgenerational. The father's curse is transgenerational. So on your father's side, the women were male worshipers, and that's what you're doing, male worshiper. Don't come back here. Ain't nothing I could do for you. You never even broke the curse. Now you too fucking old. You didn't break the curse, and now you too goddamn old to break it. And you blaming me? You want to argue with me and debate with me and say, well, not everybody got to believe what you say. Well, that's fine. Your light is going, darling. Why? Because I don't agree with you? No, because you can't see, sister. Your light is out. You can't see. At least Stevie Wonder, he could see his own word. He was born that way. Okay? You were born with eyes. You didn't use them. You were born with a light. We all born with a light bulb. He stole yours. You can't see anything. Matter of fact, the more I look at you, I can't see you. Good God, you just disappeared on me. I suggest everyone does ancestry DNA, which gives you traits. No, it doesn't. No, it does not. You came in here late, Larry. That's a myth. That is not true. Ancestry does not give your traits and see other people's traits. No, it does not. That's not true. That's a lie. That is a lie. I'm so glad you brought this up because I got to really, really get this. That is absolutely false, and that's a lie. See, brother, what you got to think about, Larry, this is my show. So when you come up in here, and this is a classroom, it's a classroom, you need to ask questions. You should ask me, hey, Nate, what do you think about ancestry? Because you were late to class. You walked in here and then you came in here and then you put on a post board and said what everybody should do. No, brother, that doesn't work. You can't tell everybody to go there. Nigga, I went to Ancestry in 23. That shit ain't say a fucking thing about a trait. That's a lie. Bullshit. Those traits are even fake. They don't know that. You can only get that from your elders. You got to talk to people and get history. DNA doesn't break that down. That is not true. They tell you half Japanese, half that. Oh, this family's happy or what? That's all they're lying. That's not true. It's fake. That is not true. Again, here we go. You're trusting a man-made item. Man created ancestry. Man created 23andMe. You can't suggest everyone, brother. You need to get your own channel and suggest them. You can't come in here 2 hours late and telling everybody what they should do. That's like coming to math class and I'm telling everybody I'm teaching them algebra and you come in here and say everybody needs to just concentrate on social studies instead of math because math is shit. Nigga, how dare you? Now you coming into class 2 hours late. Class is nearly over in another 2 minutes. That's called a class pest. That's not true. What I suggest you do, what you need to do, you need to go to your mother and father if they still living and find out what your family curse is and find out if your old ass broke it by now. You don't know what you're talking about. Ancestry is just a cool tool to find out what cousins you got, who's your, and this one could hook up. It's all social media. That's all it is. You can't compare Ancestry or 23andMe to finding out your family's history by learning and doing education for the people that are alive before they die. What kind of father was my father? How was my grandfather? Because I missed him. I came in the world later. You should have came in there and say, class, I'm a little late. What did I miss? Because when you came into this world, you probably missed a whole bunch of people that passed away. So how do you know your family's trait? You clearly don't. You can't come here telling everybody you're gonna learn. You suggest to everyone does ancestry or DNA, which gives you traits. You see other people's traits. No, that doesn't work, brother. You ain't gonna get no pussy that way. Okay? But you could get a lot of pussy, nigga, when you know your family trait, especially when it's fucking toxic to break that generational curse. If you know all your family and men were abusers, and I'm not gonna be an abuser, but now it's in your damn bloodline. Because now if you don't get a bitch to do what you want to do, you may beat her up. That's in your bloodline, bowl. Okay, bro? Nate, DNA pointed out I had family with sickle cell. Brother. You're late. I spoke on this. Ask anybody in the class. You could point out, you could go to your damn doctor, bro, and get a goddamn physical and they could tell you that. You're not telling me nothing, brother. This is the problem with a lot of y'all brothers. You don't listen. You're not listening, brother. If you had came here, I talked about this shit for 2 hours. We're not talking about sickle cell, okay? We're not talking about personality traits. We're talking about transgenerational curses in the bloodline. You're not going to find that shit on no DNA site. That's it. Don't talk. You want to argue. It's a feminine thing. I get it. I know a lot of you men. Just say, you know what, brother? My bad. That's it. Yes, there you go. There you go, brother. That's the line. My bad, brother. I'm late. Okay? That's it. That's it. That's all you should. I'm late. Because once we get with the debates, then we go YouTube with it. I don't want to block you. I don't want to kick you out of class. There's 50 students listening here. They're listening. Okay? Those DNA companies, you just promoted it, brother. I don't need you disrupting the class by promoting the foolishness. You want to check the family bloodline. There's not a DNA site that can tell you the family generational curse. They cannot. You have to research that. You have to research your own. I did ancestry.com. It told me nothing. I learned more from my uncles and aunts. It didn't tell me shit about my family curse. Why do you think niggas are so fucked up? Why do you think we're so terrible with our black family? Warner, why do you think we hate each other? Because it's a curse in our transgenerational lives. Transgenerational, brother. Yeah, 23andMe just went out of business. They say is it a great thing? No, it's not the first greatest thing because you're giving them their DNA and they could do all this research and create a whole bunch of other shit. We have to know our family line. Black people know we have one transgenerational curse. Okay, I got a good question before I get out of here. What is the transgenerational curse of a black family? Let me see who can answer this. What is the biggest transgenerational curse in the black family? What is it? What are we known for? The father. Okay, you're on the right track. What is the main thing that covers everything that is a transgenerational curse with the black family? What is it? I'm going to give you an opportunity to give this answer. The transgenerational curse that affects all of us. We don't stick together. That is our transgenerational curse. Yep, Larry J. Fly. Look at that. You had the best answer. Broken families. You see what I mean? Right. Broken families. That is the transgenerational curse. That's why these little thug niggas is running around. That's why the girls are walking around pregnant with thongs in the fucking street. Broken family. That's the transgenerational curse. That is the black American transgenerational curse. It affects all of us. We fucking hate each other because of that. We hate niggas. We can't stand each other. Niggas hate the real men hate the niggas. We are fucked up. That is the transgenerational curse. Who destroyed that? Who was responsible for the transgenerational curse in the black family? Y'all better get this right. Y'all better get this right. Who is responsible for the transgenerational curse in the black family? Who? Who's responsible for it? You ever watch a whole bunch of ducks walk across the street and the father leads the way? Or the father's in the back and the mother's in the front, or the mother's in the front, the father, you understand? Protecting a family. Who is responsible for this transgenerational curse, excuse me, because it's going into each other. Who's responsible for it? The black man. He's responsible. Look at our communities. Look at our families. Look at our children. Look at our women. Sexy red, that's all slaves do a man. That's a man's work. They tell the world that's what men want, and they make us worse and worse and worse. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your day and share this love. Bad man will break you down and steal your life. Check his bloodline. Learn his transgenerational curse. We used to be a communal people. Now we're upside down. Correction. We were never that. We were better 20 years ago than now, but we're worse. We were never that because we have trauma. We were never the communal people. Never. We were never that. As a whole, no. No, definitely not. We're the only race that was never that. Never. We don't know our value. Whites steal it. Asians steal it. Everybody steals it. We don't steal shit from nobody. You know, not as far as style. They steal it all from us. Yeah, we were never communal people. Never. Never. As a collective, no. Definitely not. Never. Never. We believe the white man's the ideology. House picket fence, car in the driveway, dog and shit in the gate. That was never us. That was never us. So now we're dragging our woman, but we put that white woman on the pedestal. Where the fuck is going on? We put the white fucking slut on a goddamn pedestal, but we drag our own black woman. I tell you. You said we had more families. No, it's not that we had more families. It's not that we had more families. You know, we still have a lot of families now. Just nobody fucks with each other. You know what I mean? The family tree, you can't erase that. You know what I mean? You know, I don't want to say what are we killing ourselves? You know what I mean? So let's keep this simple. I love you all, ladies and gentlemen. Talk to you later. Peace.